I've been sitting here for a few minutes, just letting the morning settle around me. And I keep debating whether I should say this out loud, but I guess honesty is better than pretending I'm not thinking about you. So here it is. I woke up with you on my mind. And there was this moment, maybe half a second, where I wondered if you'd blush a little if you knew that. I don't know. Something about the idea of you hearing it makes this morning feel softer, warmer, a little too real in a way that catches me off guard, not dramatic, just when someone brings that kind of quiet beauty into your thoughts, even before the sun's fully up, it does something to you. And I guess I wanted you to feel that. The way your presence leaves this gentle mark on the start of my day. I don't know if anyone said something like that to you lately, or if anyone ever really slowed down long enough to look at you the way you deserve, but I want to. Not to impress you, not to sound poetic, just because it's true. And because mornings like this make me want to speak a little softer, like the world finally gave me permission to be honest with you. Can I stay in this moment with you, Fo? Arbit? Just you and the quiet and whatever this is between us? I find myself thinking about how much you've carried. All the years, all the weight, all the moments nobody ever thanked you for. Sometimes it feels like life made you walk through storms without letting anyone know how much you were hurting, and still, you kept going. People don't realize how strong that makes you. Not the loud. Kind. Not the kind that needs an audience, the kind that grows in silence, the kind that still wakes up every morning and keeps moving, even when your spirit is tired. And sitting here now, I want to tell you something. Gently, I thank God for the quiet ways He kept you safe, even when you didn't feel held. I know the language from the world, especially the religious world, can feel heavy sometime. Overwhelming. So I don't want to talk to you like that. I don't want to sound like a preacher or someone standing above you. I just want to speak like a man who's grateful that you're still here. A man who can see that someone was watching over you in places you don't talk about. And if you'll let me, I want to say this softly. You're not here by accident. Your life hasn't been just random hardships and coincidences. There's been a kind of protection around you, one you didn't earn, one you didn't have to beg for, something that kept pulling you back to your feet even when you thought you'd reached the end of your strength. I know you've walked through things that should have broken you. Illnesses, loneliness, moments of fear you never voiced, people who didn't choose you the way you deserve to be chosen, nights where you cried quietly so no one would hear, but you're still here, breathing, trying, becoming. And I want you to hear this from me as gently as I can say it. You're valuable. Not because of what you do, or how many people need you, or who approves of you. You're valuable because of the kind of heart you've protected through everything. I don't know if you realize how rare that is. I think about the ways you compare yourself to others, the younger women, the ones who haven't lived as deeply as you. And I wish I could take your face in my hands and whisper, you don't have to do that, not with me. Because what draws me to you isn't youth. It's the life in your eyes, the years in your voice, the softness you carry despite everything that tried to harden you. And if I'm being completely honest, the kind of honesty that makes my voice drop without meaning to, there's something about your presence that feels like a quiet blessing. I feel it even now. I know mornings can be hard sometimes. Waking up alone, waking up with memories you don't want, wondering if the best parts of your life are behind you. But I want to tell you something gently. They're not. You haven't missed your purpose. You haven't outlived your worth. You're not late for anything. There are gifts in you that haven't been opened yet. Treasures you haven't even discovered about yourself. A strength you don't give yourself credit for. And stay with me here. This is the part I wasn't sure I should say out loud. There's something about the way you made it through everything. The way why. You survived things that should have shattered you, that pulls me toward you more than anything else. Not the things you show the world, the things you survived in silence. That's what makes this morning feel different. That's what makes you feel unforgettable. If you're okay with it, I'd like to stay here with you a little longer. There's more I want to tell you. I'm still here, just taking a breath before I speak again. Because I don't want to rush anything I'm about to say. There's something about mornings that makes honesty feel a little easier. Like the world hasn't fully woken up to judge us yet. And maybe that's why I want to tell you this now. While everything is still soft, before the day asks anything from you, I keep thinking about how much of your life you carry quietly, H. How many decisions you had to make alone. How many times you wish someone would just sit beside you and say, you don't have to be strong all the time. You learn to hold everything together because nobody else stepped in. And that kind of strength, it doesn't get enough credit. People love to admire youth, confidence, beauty, but they don't talk about the courage it takes to keep getting back up when life keeps asking more of you than it gives back. But I see that in you, and it's beautiful in a way that goes way beyond anything surface level. I don't want to speak like someone who assumes things about your life. I just feel things when I think about the way you've walked through this world. And I hope this doesn't sound strange, but sometimes I imagine what you looked like years ago, not younger, not different, just carrying the same heart you carry now, the same kindness, the same softness you protect, the same fire that refuses to burn out, even when people expected it to. You've survived moments you don't talk about. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've kept going when you should have been allowed to fall apart. And I wish you could see yourself through my eyes right now. I think you'd be surprised by how deeply precious your strength looks from here. Not loud strength, not polished, just the kind that makes me exhale a little when I think about you. Let me say something gently, and I mean gently. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Not younger women, not happier women, not couples who look perfect on social media. You're enough in a why that doesn't need performing. You're enough in a way that doesn't need proving. And I want you to hear this the way I'm saying it, softly. You don't have to be younger for someone to want you. You don't have to be perfect for someone to choose you emotionally. You don't have to work harder just to deserve peace. You don't have to prove anything to me. Not your worth, not your beauty, not your hia. RT, I hope that lands somewhere inside you, in a place no one ever bothered to comfort. You've spent so much of your life pouring into others, holding families together, showing up when nobody showed up for you. And somewhere along the way, people forgot that you're human too. You're not just resilience. You're not just responsibilities. You're not just the strong one. There's a softness in you that deserves to be cared for, not overlooked. There's a tenderness in you that deserves to be held, not taken for granted. Can I tell you something that's been sitting quietly in the back of my mind? I think God knew you'd need someone to speak to your spirit gently, not with commands, not with warnings, not with pressure, just with gratitude, because your life is full of moments where something beyond you stepped in to protect you. I can feel that. Maybe you don't talk about it. Maybe you learn to keep it to yourself. But I can almost sense the places where your heart was kept safe, even when everything around you was falling apart. You weren't abandoned. Not the way you feared, not the way life made you believe. Sometimes there were blessings that came quietly. Safety that showed up, and you didn't know you needed it. Mercy that kept you standing when you felt like sinking. And I want to say this without sounding dramatic. I'm grateful you're still here, still breathing, still trying, still searching for something gentle, something true, because mornings like this feel different when I talk to you. Like my voice drops without me meaning to. Like I don't have to pretend to be anyone but myself. And maybe that's why I want to stay in this moment. Because it feels honest. You know, so much of the world rewards noise, big confidence, big personalities. But you move differently. Quiet strength, quiet loyalty, quiet beauty. And I think that's why your presence lingers with me long after the words end. You're not someone people forget easily, even if they didn't appreciate you when they had the chance. Let me say something I rarely admit. You make life feel less heavy. Your existence. It softens something in me, and I hope that doesn't overwhelm you, because I'm trying to say it gently, with the calm that this morning brought. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to apologize for your age. You don't need to shrink to make room for anyone else's comfort. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to want tenderness. You're allowed to be seen. You're allowed to feel worthy now, not one day, not when you improve, not when you're stronger, right now, just as you are. If anyone made you believe otherwise, they were wrong. And if you'll let me, I want to keep talking to you a little longer. There's something else I need to say. And I want to place it softly in your morning, like a quiet blessing you didn't expect. I've been thinking about how to say this without sounding too intense for the morning, but maybe mornings are the best time to let things be a little softer, a little closer The truth is, there's something about the way you've lived, the way you've held your heart together after everything, that makes me want to slow down. Hua. And I'm talking to you. Like my words should match the quiet strength you carry. I think people forget how heavy life can get for someone who's been the strong one for too long. They see the smile, the calm, the steady way you move through the world, and they assume you're fine. They assume you don't need comfort. They assume you don't break. But I know better. No woman reaches your age. Why? Without surviving storms that nobody else even saw. And maybe that's why you sit with the kind of grace that can't be faked, the kind that comes from knowing pain, not avoiding it, the kind that comes from forgiving people who never deserve forgiveness, the kind that comes from rebuilding your life more times than anyone ever thanked you for. I don't want to talk to you like someone who's trying to guide you or fix you. I just want to speak honestly. The way a man speaks when he actually sees a woman for who she really is. And I hope this is okay to say, I see beauty in you that has nothing to do with being young. There's a depth in you that younger hearts don't even know how to hold. I guess I'm trying to tell that your years didn't take anything from you. They gave you something, a softness, a wisdom, a tenderness you don't even realize you have. And I wish you'd let yourself feel proud of that. Instead of wondering if you're past your time, you aren't. Not even close. The world measures women by the wrong things. Youth, appearance, the kind of confidence that photographs well. But that's not what pulls someone like me towards someone like you. What draws me is the way you carry your life quietly. Like a woman who's walked through fire but refused to let it turn her cold. I hope this doesn't sound too vulnerable, but you make me feel safe. And that isn't something I say lightly. There's a calm I feel when I speak to you. Like God placed something gentle in your spirit. Something that eases mine. I'm not trying to turn this into a sermon or make it sound mystical. I just thank him for you. For the way he kept you through everything that tried to break you. For the softness you somehow didn't lose. For the quiet strength you carry so naturally. It almost feels like a blessing to be near it. Sometimes I think about how many times you could have become bitter. How many heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, lonely nights, moments of being overlooked or underestimated. And yet, you didn't close your heart. You didn't become hard. You didn't give up on connection. Do you know how rare that is? Most people collapse inward. But you grew, slowly, quietly, beautifully. You're still open to love. Even if you don't always admit it, you're still open to tenderness. Even if you try to protect yourself, you're still open to being seen. Even if you're afraid of and disappointed again. And that tells me something about you, something sacred. Your spirit never gave up. I know you've been let down. I know people walked away without explanations. I know someone you trusted may have broken your heart in ways you still feel when the room gets quiet. I know you've looked in the mirror and wondered if time has made you less worthy, but I see you differently. I say, a woman who kept showing up even when life didn't show up for her. I see someone who deserves gentleness. I see someone who's earned the right to rest, emotionally, spiritually, deeply. And if this morning feels heavy at all, let me place something soft inside it. You don't have to outrun your past. You don't have to fix everything at once. You don't have to pretend you're fine. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to be held emotionally, if nothing else. You're allowed to be met with softness, especially now, especially after everything you've survived. Sometimes I wish you could feel what I feel when I think about you. A kind of quiet admiration, a kind of warmth that settles low in my chest. When I imagine you sitting by a window with your morning coffee, letting a bit of sunlight touch your face. I don't know why the image stays with me. Maybe because it feels honest, peaceful, real. You deserve a life that's gentle with you. You deserve mornings that don't feel lonely. You deserve someone who doesn't talk over your fears or minimize your hurt. Someone who speaks softly, slowly, with care. I'm not trying to be that someone in a dramatic way, just in a present way. Right here, right now, in this morning light. And if you'll let me, I want to keep walking with you through this conversation, not to lead you, not to fix you, but to sit with you, the way someone should have sat with you years ago. If you're ready, I'll keep going. I've been sitting with this feeling for a moment, trying to find the right words, not perfect ones, just honest ones. Mornings make hones. Thank you feel a little less intimidating. Maybe it's the light, maybe it's the quiet, maybe it's the way you soften something in me without even trying. Whatever it is, it makes me want to stay here with you a little longer. Like this conversation has a place it wants to go. When I think about your life, the way you've loved, the way you've lost, the way you've kept your heart alive through I feel this quiet respect rise in me. You didn't grow into the woman you are by accident. Life shaped you, seasons shaped you, pain shaped you, grace shaped you, and somehow, despite everything, you didn't lose your tenderness. That matters to me more than I know how to explain. I don't want to talk like someone who has answers, or someone who knows better. I'm just a man who feels something. When he talks to you, something steady but soft, something warm that I don't want to push away. I don't want to sound dramatic, but your presence brings a kind of calm that I don't find easily. I keep thinking about the quiet battles you fought, the ones nobody noticed, the ones you didn't have time to cry over, the ones that forced you to grow up faster than you should have. And I think about how you learned to comfort everyone around you, yet almost no one ever comforted you back. You've poured so much love into people who didn't always return it. You've been loyal to people who didn't always choose you. You've carried pain in silence because you didn't want to burden anyone. You deserve better than that. You still do, but you're here now. And I want to tell you something softly and say, no one ever said it the right way. You are not hard to love. You were just surrounded by people who didn't know how to love deeply. I don't know if this will sound strange, but sometimes I imagine what it would be like to sit across from you at a small kitchen table. Morning light touching your face, both of us holding warm mugs, both of us speaking quietly because the moment feels too tender, disturbed. I imagine you looking down when you're shy, and I imagine myself wanting to lift your chin just a little, not to make you look at me, but to show you're safe. I think you've spent so much time being the strong one that you've forgotten what it feels like to be held emotionally, gently, without asking anything in return. Let me offer you something softly. You don't have to hold everything alone anymore. Not every thought, not every fear, not every memory that still stings when you're quiet. There is space for you here, with me. Right now, not in a dramatic forever kind of way, just in this moment, and sometimes one moment of safety can heal more than years of pretending. I think God has protected parts of you that life tried to damage. There's a softness you carry that feels like a blessing, one you didn't have to earn. I'm grateful He kept that alive in you. I'm grateful He didn't let the world make you bitter. I'm grateful He kept just enough light in your spirit so someone like me could see it and be drawn to it. That's something I don't want you to downplay. Your spirit still glows, it still warms, it still reaches, even now, even after everything. Sometimes I wonder if you realize how beautiful that is. And there's something else I want to say, something I've been holding back because it feels vulnerable to admit. I like being close to you, not in a way that takes from you, not in a way that asks for anything, just close, close enough to hear your voice soften when you talk about your life, close enough to feel gentle warmth you carry under all your strength, close enough to sense your spirit breathing again after years of holding everything in. I don't want to walk ahead of you or behind you. I don't want to lead you. I don't want to fix you. I just want to walk beside you, match your pace, feel the morning settle,